All right, today we're jumping into Dr. David Frawley's Tantric Yoga and the Wisdom Goddesses. And we're going to unpack a spiritual system that is, well, way deeper and so much more expansive than what most people think.
So let me ask you something right off the bat. When you hear the word Tantra, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Because for a lot of us, especially in the West, it brings up some, very specific and honestly pretty limited ideas. But what if all that is just the tiny, tiny tip of a massive ancient iceberg?
Yeah, and that's exactly why we need to start by tackling that big misconception head on. If we really want to get what this path is all about, we've got to clear the air first, Get right to the heart of what traditional Tantra actually is. So, on one side, you've got what the book calls Western Neo-Tantra, and yeah, its focus is often almost totally on sexual practices. But then, look at the other side. You see the traditional view, this huge, sweeping, spiritual system all about consciousness and self-realization. I mean, the contrast is just, wow. It's not just a different focus, it's a completely different endgame. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Dr. Frawley makes it super clear. Sure, those sexual yogas are part of the tradition, but to say they are the tradition, that's a huge oversimplification. It's kind of like looking at a few yoga poses, the asanas, and thinking, yep, I get yoga now. You'd be missing the entire ocean of meditation and philosophy underneath.
Okay, so if the popular idea is way off base, then what is the real foundation of this ancient practice? Let's, build it from the ground up and really see what Tantra is all about. Now this is a total game changer compared to a lot of other spiritual paths. Think about it. So many traditions see the body or the physical world as an obstacle, right? Something you have to transcend or escape. But Tantra, it flips that completely. It says, no, the body is a temple for the divine. It's a mini universe. And the world isn't an illusion. It's a direct manifestation of reality. So it's a path of embracing everything, not rejecting it.
So how does this work in practice? Well, it's built on these three pillars that are all connected. First, you have Tantra. That's the philosophy, the big picture. Then you have mantra, which is the sacred sound, the vibration that gives voice to a cosmic force. And finally, you have the yantra, that geometric design. That's the visual form of the mantra. So you've got the idea, the sound, and the image, all working together, sinking you deep into the cosmos. And all of this, it leads us right to the absolute heart of the Tantric worldview, the Divine Mother. We're talking about the worship of the sacred feminine as the ultimate creative power in the entire universe. This cosmic feminine force has a name, Shakti. Now, the word usually gets translated as power, but we're not talking about power like muscle power or political power. No. As the book points out, this is the power of consciousness itself. It's that dynamic, intelligent, creative spark that brings literally everything into being. And here's what's so important to get. This isn't just about believing in a goddess. The book calls it a spiritual science for a reason. Tantra gives you a whole toolkit, practical methods to directly experience this divine energy. And it's through that direct experience that you start to awaken a higher awareness inside yourself. Okay, and this is where the path really comes alive. We meet the Dasha Mahavidya, which means the 10 great wisdom goddesses. And these aren't just figures to pray to. Think of each one as the living embodiment of a specific cosmic truth, and each one is a unique doorway to a different kind of knowledge. To really get a feel for how wide-ranging they are, let's look at two really powerful and totally different examples. We're going to start with maybe the most famous, and definitely the most misunderstood of them all, Kali, the goddess of yogic transformation. Here you can see her fierce form, and next to it, her yantra, that geometric blueprint of her energy.
Yeah, Kali's appearance can be a lot. It can be shocking. She is all about time, death, radical, unpredictable change. Her energy is destructive, for sure. But what is she destroying? She's destroying the ego, our illusions, all the stuff we cling to that isn't real or lasting. By making us face the most terrifying parts of life, she forces us to find what's truly eternal inside.
And now, for a complete 180, we meet Tripura Sundari, which translates to the beauty of the three worlds. Just look at the difference. The total serenity in her form, the perfect harmony in her yantra. She's a completely different side of the divine. Sundari represents the ultimate beauty, the beauty of pure perception. This isn't about external beauty, like a pretty face. No, this is the profound, deep beauty and bliss that bubbles up when we see the whole universe in ourselves. It's the experience of seeing it all as a reflection of your own true self.
And these two together just perfectly capture the whole tantric approach, don't they? You go from the terrifying, raw power of Kali to the sublime, radiant beauty of Sundari. These goddesses show us that in this path, nothing is left out. Every single part of life, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, is a doorway to the divine. They are basically the keys to unlock different parts of our own consciousness.
So, what's the end game here? What's the point of this whole journey? After you work with these powerful energies through all the philosophy, the mantras, the meditation, where are you trying to go? And here it is. The goal is not about gaining power over others or developing psychic abilities. The real, true aim of Tantric Yoga is to realize the self. It's the journey back home, to that moment of recognizing that the incredible divine consciousness you've been seeking, well, it's been you all along. It's your own true nature. So this whole deep dive into Dr. Frawley's work leaves us with a pretty mind-bending question, right? What if knowledge isn't something you go out and get, something you collect from books or lectures? What if, as Tantra suggests, real wisdom is a living force that you have to awaken within? An inner power, an inner goddess, just waiting for you to notice her in every single moment of your life.